Check out the new season of Amazing Gale Pile. The Amazing Gale Pile, Apocalypse Soonish on Amazon and CBC. The Amazing Gale Pile is a comedy series about the dangerous and sexy life of TV home shopping host Gale Pile. Slate.com called it a Lynchian stew of the absolutely mundane and totally horrific. Sounds hilarious. This series has featured guest appearances by Paul Scheer, Jack McBrayer, June Diane Raphael, John Daly, Scott Thompson, Rich Fulcher, Esther Povitsky, and the voice of John Hamm. Every season, including The Amazing Gale Pile, Apocalypse Soonish, is streaming now on CBC and Amazon. Or head to apocalypsesoonish.com. Hey everybody, welcome to Godzilla's Daughter Was Horny. That's a good one. That's from It's Dupe on YouTube. And today we are picking a winner for our giveaway where you, the winner, and 3 friends can come here to this basement and watch us do a show. The last show we did, we had some people that had won. And it was super fun, so we're going to do it again. Travel, of course, is not provided. You gotta get here on your own. But be sure to become a member of the 420 Club to be eligible for these giveaways. Sign up at patreon.com. And joining us in the studio, do we have no last name sometimes? Yeah. It's someone named Phil. So I hope there's not more than one Phil that's a member of the club. And you're both excited. We might have to bring every Phil down here. Doug plugs, I'm a guest on Kill Tony at Stand Up Live this, when is it? Thursday night in Phoenix. And then on April 10th, we're doing a Doug Loves Movies here in Los Angeles at the UCB Theater. And also in Los Angeles, this is super fun. On April 12th, we're going to do a combo Doug Loves Movies taping, followed by a Benson movie interruption of the original Super Troopers in honor of the new Super Troopers 2 coming out on April 20th. And all the dudes from Broken Lizard are going to be there at the, it's called Dynasty Typewriter at the Hayworth Theater. But for all of my road dates and details and links to click on to get your tickets, go to douglovesmovies.com and enjoy the show. Blast off. We are in this basement with a newbie and just a super classic old bee.
I'm an old school fatty, that's for sure.
Vanessa Johnston and Greg Proops are here.
Hi guys.
Yeah, some hearty clapping.
Yeah, I like that.
That was nice. Greg's already got something rolled up and smoking it. What is it?
What was in this container? It was in this, so I'm not certain what it was.
Oh, it's the indica.
Indica. Well,
yeah. So
let's
you
smooth
hang
sailing.
on to that.
Yeah.
And he wrote on it. He like signed his joint.
I wrote hi on it. We used to, in high school, we used to write on our joints. We'd
Yeah.
write,
You could write
joints.
secrets because as soon as you're finished with the joint, it's gone forever.
Right?
I like that.
You write it.
Some Harry
Get
Potter
ready to
shit.
go to school, roll a bunch of joints, write on them, and as
Harry
class
Potter,
progressed.
Harry Potter shit. The indica's called Fire OG, so that sounds intense. And then we've got a sativa that, like, apparently only I will be smoking today because you're both into the indica.
I got some over here.
But I love it. I love guests that come in wanting some indica. And and so the sativa is called Blood Orange Tangy. And I'm not a look at it kind of guy when it comes to the weed, but I really have been looking at this one because it is super purple. Taylor Rizzo, the Dab King, pointed it out to me, but that is just...
You got yourself a beautiful nug there. Yeah, he's got a jeweler's eyepiece. He's just having it with.
He has a monocle he pulls out from his back. He's like, oh, look at the
look at
sports.
this.
I went to this dispensary here in LA and they're popping up everywhere called MidMen,
Oh, the best, dude. It's like the Apple Store weed.
MedMen. Yeah, it's total Apple Store, and they have, just like with the Apple phones, the way you can pick it up, but it's on a thing.
Yeah.
They've got like a little dish you can pick up, and there's a thing you could slide open to smell it.
Wow.
And then a little looking glass thing that you can put up to
I've
your
seen those
eye
in
to see
Denver,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So nice.
But they're nailed to the table.
Right, I
so
was going to say they're on a chain so you
they're
can't
a little
run
chain,
away
like,
with the weed.
Remember pens and banks?
Yeah.
When people thought pens
Yeah.
or something, we can't let those get out of here.
Yeah. Valuable.
Super valuable, shitty
I don't know.
pens.
I've never done this
Okay,
before.
so you got to do the carb. You got to
Put
put
your
your
finger on
finger on this right here with whichever hand is
Inhale
more.
gently because there's butane.
Okay.
Oh, that's good advice.
And then let the finger go. And then, yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
First time smoking out of a pipe.
Yes. Well, I think I've done it like a couple times. I never really like figured out the math because I vape typically.
Yeah.
Well, as a stand-up comedian, do you are you ever high when you perform?
So I was high every day for the last 6 months. And then like 2 weeks ago, I was like, maybe you should take, I should take a break, you know? And then
I called.
yeah, 3 days later, Doug hits me up, you want to do my weed show? And I was like, okay.
The devil on your shoulder.
Basically, I was like, Satan is real, and his name is Doug Benson.
Yeah. Stopping straight. It's time
Well,
to
how
get
was
high.
stopping? Was it okay? You were all right with it?
I had withdrawals for a couple days.
Right.
I had a show at Irvine Improv. It was like almost sold out. So I was thrown through in front of like 600 people. I was like, I can't go on. And then finally it got all out of my system like 2 days ago. So this is gonna be
Okay.
fun.
You're back at it.
Back on the horse.
It was kind of sad. When you stop something, you're like, am I funny without it? Do you ever go through that?
Oh, every day.
Yeah.
Then I get high again and I remember.
Or am I funny with it? You know, like everybody likes to judge. You know, whenever somebody complains about my show, and it doesn't happen that often, but you know, if they're complaining to management, the number one complaint is he was too high. And my response to that is, you know, you're too square.
You're like, maybe if you were higher when you got to the show.
If you can't stand the baking, get out of the oven.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. It's weird. But I've been high on stage pretty much every show I've done.
Have you ever been sober and done
many
stand-up?
years? Oh yeah, because I was.
When I met Doug, he was.
Yeah, but in like the last 10
I often
years.
give the credit or the blame, whichever way you want to go.
You got
of
him
getting me into weed. Yeah, him and Brian Posehn get all the credit.
We were working in San Diego at the Improv and watching, I believe, to give you a date on this, MTV's Beach Party, I think, was. So it was like about 19...
Well, you're that old.
Yeah, it was 1965. We were marching, you know, it was crazy. TV was still in black and white. This show was in black and white then. And then it went in color. Yeah, no, it was a while ago. It was good fun. Yeah, we got high and we went to the beach every day and ate fish tacos and shit.
Yeah, I remember too, like somebody from the Improv saw us at the beach and made fun of the fact that our beach clothes were like, you know, we were like wearing black shirts.
I was gonna say overcoats, boots.
I think you had shorts with little skeletons
Skulls,
all
yeah.
over them, skulls.
You guys, for being high all the time, you have the best memory.
Well, he's like probably the poster child for knows the most and smokes the most
Why you
at the
should
same
smoke
time.
dope.
Yeah. Like, I mean, do you ever feel like you know that it hurts your brain at all or slows you down at all?
No. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah. I think you lose a step. You know. I've been going on completely sober for a long time, and then of course afterward it's all happening. But I think you lose a little bit. I don't know that if you're focused enough and you know your stuff real well. When I do my
also losing it a
podcast-
little bit is the part of my. That's what's funny about
Right,
it. Like
the
people
left
laugh
brain,
when I
yeah.
can't remember what to say
Yeah.
because they come in mostly knowing what's what's going on. Whereas you your material is so
he doesn't look like he would be.
complicated.
He came in here, looks like he has a job. But,
I
like,
do. I'm doing it right now.
does.
I was like, is this?
You can too, kids.
is being dapper.
Greg walked in, I
That's
was like,
his whole
is this
gig.
the lawyer of the show?
Yeah, I'm with business affairs.
Yeah.
Nessa, please come outside for a moment. About your last name, I'm not buying it.
We're very concerned that you've never used a pipe before.
We want you to change your name to Johnson because it's easier for people.
Yeah, the T's throwing
The
everyone
T
off.
is really
Yeah.
confusing. Johnston. I was hanging out with a couple of my buddies from the band 311 this morning, and they, like a lot of famous people, are putting out their own pens that are available on a limited basis right now, but there'll be more of them everywhere. And I especially enjoyed this one. It's named after one of their songs, but it's called Beautiful Disaster Sativa, which I think that's a good name. Like I think too many of the names just sound scary, like Green Crack. And
Yeah.
This has got disaster, but it's also beautiful. Disaster.
I'd love to do a dope line, but I'd have to keep my name off of every strain. No one wants to put anything in their mouth that has the word Proops in it, I don't think.
You have the best last name.
Oh, that's so kind of you from someone with Johnston. I love it. I would have loved to have grown up with the name Johnston. Then the worst they can call you is like Johnny Cake or something.
All I thought about, I know this is weird, but on the way here, all I could think about was your last name. Yeah. Were you like made fun of when you were younger?
No, never, not once. It's so
funny
funny
you became a comic?
That. As you know, kids are kind and they're very understanding of people's differences, whether it's you're short or you're fat or your name is funny. And kids would write little sonnets about how lovely my name was.
Proops, I did it again.
Proops upside your head. I said proops upside your head. Oh, I know all of them. I was made fun of constantly, and I did nothing for my demeanor. But then, when you get taller, everything's okay.
Plus, a great comedy name.
That was the thing. I thought about, I never had a moment where I was like, I should change it. But then, because I was a comic from a teenager on, it was like, it's funnier.
Yeah, Whitney Cummings. You could have a whole show of just.
Yeah. We gave ourselves comedy names in San Francisco. Mine was Gary Everett, and Sue Murphy was Stu Murphy. We cleaned up our names so they'd be like. I told Margaret she should call herself Maggie Chan instead of Margaret Cho, so it'd make it easier. And
it must have been tough, the decision, because nowadays everybody straight up uses their real names all the time, everywhere, even when they're hard to spell, like Radikowski or whatever. Right. But like. In stand-up when we started, they had those crazy, Bob Zaney, Eddie Strange, and like one of those is made up and the other one's real, but like there were a lot of fake ones. Or they're both fake, right? Both of those?
There was a cat in San Francisco named Jerome, the One-Man Entertainment Squad. That was his name.
No,
it was
you
excellent.
can't.
No, yes, he did. It was great.
I can't believe Cedric the Entertainer's turned out to be so amazing, because at the first time you hear of him, you're like, what?
Yeah, the Entertainer?
Why do you have to call yourself the Entertainer?
Yeah.
Well, that is my last name.
Right.
You started in San Francisco?
I did, yes. I'm from San Francisco, but from...
Probably not as great a place to start these days.
I don't know. I don't think there's much of a scene.
Because there's only rich people there.
Right.
Homeless.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with being homeless.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it, but they're not going to come to our show.
Comics fall right on the bubble in between homeless and rich, so that's the rub. I was quite poor when I started, and so you could live like I lived with a guy, and he let me skate on the rent for like a year at one point. When you just have no money. And then I got money and I gave him the money back, but I think it was $150 a month. And now the idea of having anything in San Francisco that's $150 a month.
No, that's like how much you pay for parking a day.
Yep, it's crazy.
Like,
so it has ruined, I think, the ability to live there, which is what you need. When I was there,
you want people to live there. You don't want everybody coming in from out of town.
We took buses or cabs to the clubs. We didn't have cars, and all the comics came every night. It was
the comics that did have cars just got ticket after ticket after ticket,
because
they just wouldn't pay them until they got a boot on their car.
Yeah, right, exactly, which happened to me. There's nowhere to park in San Francisco. So
I always thought you were all the most irresponsible people. I really did not take into account that you're like trying to move around this city where there's parking costs money everywhere.
Yeah.
Is that where you're from too? You're from San Francisco?
No, but in my formative years, like I started stand-up in LA, which is, never a great idea. And then, but I eventually found the San Francisco scene and just spent a lot of time there. As much as a week or two each month, I was up in San Francisco. So I kind of consider myself a San Francisco comic.
Oh, absolutely. I think Doug's totally an honorary San Francisco comic.
Yeah, honorary.
You spent so much time there, man.
Yeah.
Well, there's the guys who lived other places and moved there, like Dana Gould and Tom Kenny and whatnot.
Bobcat,
famously. Kevin Meaney and Paula Poundstone. They were both from Boston.
Yeah, it was really a weird transfer of like the Boston scene to San Francisco. Like also, I believe David Cross started Boston-y and came
Janine,
out.
too.
Janine Garofalo. Yeah.
But then everybody come out to San Francisco for the competition in those days, which was a bigger deal. And then I would just see Doug anyway at clubs and hang around and stuff. And it was when Brian was first starting, Passain and then Gaio. And
well, then that's
Greg
what's funny is
and,
a ton of I stuck to my guns and stayed in L.A. and I'm glad I did because everyone eventually came to L.A.
Of course,
they all stayed in San Francisco for as long as they could though, because it was nonstop fun.
There was 10 full-time clubs, and you could do open mic every night, and we all knew each other, and it was pretty zany, and nice. We were only hostile to like hacks and magicians, basically. Everyone else kind of got in.
A contest you used to do all the time that should maybe be brought back. Oh shit, we got to go to commercial. I'm going to say it after the break. The great cliffhanger. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, I know it can be embarrassing to talk about, but sexual performance issues are more common than you think. It's not that big of a deal, and you aren't alone. The good news is 4hims.com is an easy, embarrassment-free solution. 4hims.com is a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men, and it's all done online. These are real doctors offering medical-grade solutions and well-known generic equivalents to name-brand prescriptions to help you combat ED. It's an easier, more affordable way to access the prescriptions, products, and medical advice you need. While we here at Getting Dug with High love all things herbal, the products at 4hims.com are not herbal supplements. They're prescription solutions backed by science. And even better, you can do everything from the comfort of your own home. No waiting rooms, no awkward doctor visits, no time stuck in traffic. 4hims.com knows you have better things to do with your time. All you have to do is go to 4hims.com and answer a few quick questions. Then a doctor will review your information, write a prescription, and everything is sent directly to your door in stylish, discreet packaging. Order now. Our listeners get a trial month for just $5 today, right now, while supplies last. See the website for full details. This would cost hundreds if you went to a doctor or pharmacy. Go to 4hims.com/DOUGED. That's 4hims.com/DOUGED. 4 HIMS, HIMS/DOUGED.
Get better and better the whole time. What are we talking about?
No.
All right, before the break, we were talking to Vanessa Johnston and Greg Proops, and I was mentioning that back in San Francisco, we used to have a lot of fun with a thing that Greg did a lot, where you and the other comedians, the game was called Walk the Room.
Yeah.
And the idea was, the show's over, but let's all take turns going on stage and see who can get everybody to leave.
Kind of just for us. So people get up and tell the most
So you get up and say the most horrible
horrifying-
things, and then they'd still stay though, because they're like, this is fun too. Yeah. So, but Greg has a question for Vanessa.
Where did you start doing comedy?
Oh, LA.
Where, are you from LA?
I'm from Minnesota, but I lived in LA for 8 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what were you doing for 8 years?
I was a working actor for 3, and then I quit the business and got a job in development. So I worked at a movie, TV studio for a couple years, did a production development, and that's when I started stand-up, and now I do stand-up.
What made you leave the cosseted, safe corporate world of, although it's not so safe, I suppose, it's pretty dangerous in show business.
No, I started doing stand-up at night, and then it just became just kind of happened. Yeah, I don't know. But it is like outside of where we're filming right now, there's all these cubicles, and I came in early, and Doug was like, you're not supposed to be in. I was like, oh, well, outside gives me anxiety because literally all the desks are giving me PTSD.
You can't be in this basement early.
Banished.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thrown
Go
out
out
here.
there amongst the cubicles.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, it's the cubicle that I've tried to avoid my whole life. I think what the fun of comedy is that you don't really ever have to be in a cubicle.
These are fun offices. Remember 30-something when they introduced the idea of fun offices? That's Google, of course, has the funnest office in the world.
I think the longer you're doing stand-up, the less you're able to have a regular job because you don't have the personality.
Yeah.
For I was trying to interview for just development jobs a couple months ago, and I was like, I literally can't interview. Because I started telling them what they should change. I'm like, that's not my place. Yeah. I'm like, you're a production company, what's your 5-year plan? And then they're like, meh.
Meh.
They're like, you're not gonna work here. And I was like, yeah, okay, well.
You know it all.
Yeah. I'm not a big person for meetings. And when we all discuss something and people justifying their jobs by just saying any old crap really is boring to me. So I kind of never
want to meet about everything. I'm like, that's
why.
They want to meet.
My
about
job
everything.
one when somebody says, "Do you want to take a meeting?" is to try and talk them out of having a meeting.
Let's not do that.
Then they're like, let's do it over the phone. I'm like, even worse. When you can't fucking hear who's saying what in the room, you're just listening in, trying to say something, trying to jump in, trying to be funny.
Oh, the worst.
You're trying to get the room to laugh, and it's bad.
Yeah.
And you can't see their faces. You're like, maybe they're smiling.
Yeah. So I'll go in person if somebody insists, but for the most part.
You don't really have to have them, I've found, over 100 years in show business.
Yeah, just, send each other an email. Here's the idea. Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
And then
Let's
people
do
show
it.
up and everybody's a pro, and it's like, it happens. I mean, obviously, not with this crew. This was finally, these guys have been training at the Doug Benson boot camp for the last, 4.5 years.
I don't know how they do it. We haven't had one incident of,
Competence.
what do you call it, secondhand. We haven't had any secondhand high situations to speak of.
Oh, I know. These guys have to hotbox every episode. So I always wonder what the rest of their day is like. They're just wandering around like snacking.
It's a big room. We turn a fan on in the breaks. All right, so that snort is the signal to go on to the next portion of our show.
That's like his signature. What's your catchphrase?
Now we move on. The
We
Proops
do a
snort.
new thing. You haven't done this, and you've never been on the show,
not
so you
pot
haven't
topics?
done it. No. Well, we might get to some pot topics.
Hot topic.
But this is, just got to check to make sure that person's awake. This is called Marijuana Know Something.
What?
And this is where I ask you a ridiculous question that you may or may not know the answer to. I don't know the answer. I like to play along.
I'm game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that was like cheating cards,
No
but there's no
cheating.
answer
No.
on the cards. So.
There's just a cue on this card.
All right.
And then I pull it away and we have our answer. And they're generally trick questions, I'll just tell you that.
Okay.
Besides fingerprints,
Correct. Moving
next
on.
question. Besides fingerprints, what other body part makes a unique print? So this question to me is worded in a way it says there's only one other, as opposed to a bunch of others.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is?
That's the trick,
Wouldn't
is
it be
it?
your foot?
Toe prints?
Yeah. Or tongue print?
Do
Your eye.
toes don't really look like fingers, do they?
Oh, that's
Your
smart.
retina.
See,
Yeah?
he's wearing a suit. That's why he's gonna know all the answers.
Well,
Well,
this can
fortunately,
happen to you. All you have to do is put on a suit and you'll soon know everything.
Yeah.
There's only 2 questions, so he can't show off too much.
But you have to do retina scans.
Eyes, that's a good thing.
Right? It makes sense. Every movie about the future, they're always sticking their eye up to the
Right,
thing.
your eye, not your hand.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you can change your fingerprints.
Right?
Well, I don't know
with
how,
the right,
but I'm sure there's
with an
people.
X-Acto knife and a little time,
Right.
some patience.
Or you could wear fake ones over them, like in that other movie.
Right? Which one was that? Charlie's Angels, maybe?
Totally. Yeah, somebody does that.
Ocean's 15.
Yeah, that was a Charlie's Angels. They go chip, 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 and then the door opens because they're wearing fake.
Yeah.
They didn't go cheep, 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 but
I'm gonna say genitals, just so we have 3 different
Nice.
guesses. Do you have a guess?
Your dick is the key.
Or do you agree?
they're all unique.
Could be
There's no
vaginas are
key.
special.
There's no key out there that can get into this vagina.
Who's the painter that always
Judy
painted
Chicago?
vaginas?
Judy Chicago?
No.
Pays and vaginas.
Georgia O'Keeffe.
Oh, Georgia O'Keeffe.
Yeah.
She did other things.
That's the reference I would have made. to
O'Keeffe?
Every vagina is different. Just check out Georgia
O'Keeffe.
See, Georgia O'Keeffe, Greg Proops, Whitney Cummings. I'm telling you, this is
Yeah,
gonna be huge.
we're a law firm. I want to form a law firm with Albert Pujols and Kurt
Cummings,
Brownholer.
Proops, and Queefs.
So it's Brownholer, Proops, and Pujols.
Thank you for calling Cummings, Proops, and Queefs. How can we direct your call?
What does Jessime call herself? She makes her name dirty. Not Jizime, but something like that. Yeah.
Jizame, too.
Yeah,
Man,
that would work.
my
The
name's Sublime.
answer is
Your tongue. I said that.
Yeah, you were right.
wow.
Yo, but seriously though, I still think
So some eyeballs are the same, I guess they're telling us. They're like it's you might not have a unique eyeball.
but you know what it is?
But
I
your
think it's
tongue.
a print.
Ah.
If you pushed your eye into like clay, it would just be smooth. So a print would be like a. Isn't a print mean that?
Yes, you're right. That was the key word.
You know where
that was
they
the
came
trick
up
in the
with
trick
this,
question.
right? The tongue, using the tongue.
Who?
They came up with it at the Gene Simmons Institute.
Yes. It was.
That one was for Daniel, apparently.
I was recently speaking with the co-chair of the department, Paul Stanley, and he said that the tongue development was the chief thrust of their research there. And I said, "How's the development going?" And he went, "All right," like that, and that's how you know at the Gene
I knew that
Simmons
was going
Institute.
somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, I had an ending. Just yell anytime you to Paul Stanley because he just yells everything, and that's what makes Kiss so in the pocket for people.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about him. People love it. I was on a plane with Gene Simmons last week, and it was a long flight, so I got some, sound bites.
Nice. How was our
He
Gene?
mostly kept to himself,
Yeah.
but One woman asked him, "Do you mind my dog?" And his response was, "I am a dog."
Oh, Kachinga.
And he said, and I think he just talks that way to people all day.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I think everything is that kind of answer.
Yeah, he's Gene Simmons. What else would he do?
Oh, there was another one.
He's not going to drop a bone mower.
Oh, here's the other one. Can we take your jacket for you? You know how they want to hang up your jacket? Can we take your jacket for you? He goes, no, because it'll get lost and end up in, oh, fuck.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
No.
eBay?
Those are both too good. A place, Stockholm. He goes, I'll get lost and end up in
The
Stockholm.
Hard Rock Cafe of stuff.
Right.
It's like he learned that like
Possible Stockholm.
hard consonant is funny in a word, but Stockholm has never been a funny word.
No.
Yeah, that's weird.
Keokuk.
Yeah. I would have said my
Kalamazoo.
jacket would end up in Minsk-Pinsk.
Yeah.
You know, have some real fun with it.
Yeah.
Stockholm, that just sounds like that happened to him once. some shit Gene cared about
Right.
went to Stockholm.
Right. All right, to
And
make-
now he has
Yeah.
Stockholm syndrome.
Right.
He's like
We
2
did
hours.
it. Okay, one
That's
more
what
of
he takes
these.
the Helsinki formula
Okay.
for.
I'm going to set it up. Marijuana know something?
Glissando.
Over the course of a lifetime, how long does the average person spend waiting for red lights to turn green?
Oh, gee whiz.
This isn't stone people. This is people. This is of all people. Average person.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
This
So,
is like,
so someone that's
Either
shorter
way,
than the three of us.
this is
because
gonna be
they're
a
average.
sad. Whatever this answer is gonna be so sad. You're like, oh, I spent that much time.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be good news.
No.
It's bad news.
It's going to be like, I wish I had all that time back so that I could have been at home getting high instead of going somewhere and waiting.
That's why you have to text while you're driving. Okay.
Yeah,
And this is
exactly.
a complicated one math-wise because they're throwing out the idea a lifetime.
Yeah.
Right, so the answer's going to be like
So-
7 years or something crazy.
So that's a lot of time
Yeah.
for a lot of the people.
This
And
is
people with a
aggregate.
short lifetime, they don't get around to driving cars.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 2 years.
How many?
2 years.
Depressing thought. 2 years.
I don't know.
That sounds about right.
No matter what you say, I'm gonna repeat it back like it's the craziest
What?
answer.
2 years? What kind of logical fallacy is this math built on? I would say that sounds about right. Right? It can't,
Right?
because
Well,
it's a
do-
third of your lifetime in bed, but that's
Do
8 hours
Price
a
is
day.
Right and just add a day.
Yeah, I say
2 years in a day.
366 days.
Yeah.
I say a Mayan year.
So it might be 1 year then.
Yeah.
It's between 1 and 2 years.
600.
I said that with way too much authority.
I bet the average person's probably what, 70? When they go, that's probably average.
When they
death
stop
age.
driving?
No, death age and stop driving, I guess.
One
you
follows
have to-
the
you
other.
know
You
what?
still sit at red lights as a passenger. I wonder if that counts.
Absolutely.
You have to take into account that's a good point when people drive because they don't drive before 16 or after like 65.
But they're sitting in
Yes, but
cars
they
their whole life.
They take buses and Ubers, and their parents drive them around. And
Yeah, we're waiting for
that's
red
true.
lights all the time. We're
Valid.
waiting for them. It doesn't even say car in this question.
well, no,
So walking,
taxi.
walking, you have to wait for it to change.
Sure. All right, then I'm going to up that from 2 and say like 6 years.
Well,
Okay. Also, I may be reading a lot into this question.
are you having are you answering?
Am I what?
Are you going to answer or is it just us two?
Yeah, he has
No,
to
I
provide a
want to
third.
throw out mine, but I get both of yours first when I can.
Right.
Okay.
Especially on one like this where you
I
can.
had forgotten you said tongue altogether.
This is like
I
a
really-
Dr. Seuss. I feel like
It is.
everything you have to
That's
say
the
rhymes.
That's the least pornographic, in fact, not pornographic at all, thing somebody said about that.
Really?
Yeah. Have you felt it?
I will not smoke
Everybody
it
goes to the
in a
same
bong.
place. I mean, this is old news, but Margaret Cho wanted to put it inside
butt?
her. Yeah, she wanted to get it right in there.
That's unhygienic.
Yeah, it does kind of look like a rabbit.
No, we could have cleaned it off for her. I think we gave her one or something.
That'd be like the
Maybe.
most downloaded episode of all time. Just Margaret. Do you have anybody lube? Just like, do you have any weed lube? What's your answer?
We get so the digressions during this marijuana know something can be pretty hilarious. So you go 2 years. Greg says something more.
6.
6 years.
Just for the sake of argument, since I was
I
wildly wrong on
mean,
retina.
wouldn't you just stop going anywhere if that was true? 6 years of your life.
Yeah, but how do you know at the age of 80 how many years you spent shaving or whatnot?
I'm gonna
Eating cereal.
shave a lot off of this with my guess.
All right.
I'm gonna go
2 days.
Because I'm Doug Benson. I don't remember to stop at stoplights.
9 months.
Oh.
Is what I'm gonna say.
Then you have a stoplight, baby.
Seems way under, but I also don't know.
How do you know that?
I also don't know if they mean just in cars. It's a little confusing.
Oh.
Here we go.
This is a lifetime of vehicles.
Doesn't say that.
It's the name of my new album.
How much time do you spend waiting for
lifetime
red
of
lights to
vehicles.
turn green? You know, sometimes you're watching a movie and somebody's at a red light, you're watching it, waiting for it
Okay,
to turn
now that's
green.
getting metaphysical.
Yeah,
it's not
super meta.
participating in other people's red lights. It's red lights you have to sit
There's
on.
a red light outside of my apartment. I watch it.
You know, I was looking at a picture of Mars the other day for a couple hours and I was transfixed. Does that count?
Yes.
Also, we're comics and we have red lights.
Oh yeah,
See?
they give us the
What
red
about the
light.
red
when-
light we have to look
Time
at?
to wrap it up. Yeah.
Excellent point, Vanessa. Doug, how many years have you spent looking up when the red light
red
comes
light.
on?
Yeah, that's
2 minutes
that
every
always
set.
takes.
Especially if you're Hermosa Beach.
I
you
do
get about
it
2
once I
minutes
see a
in you.
light. I do a tight 20. So it's on for that whole time. Okay, here we go. Answer time.
Okay.
What about epileptics? Does this count?
6
What?
months.
6 months,
Oh,
motherfuckers!
okay, look at you.
But you know what? Here's the thing. This is like
It's
people.
too depressing if it's 6 years.
No, it depends on where you live. Because if this is in like Wisconsin where they have like 2 stoplights in the town, then yeah. But like if you're in
Those
LA,
are slow ass stoplights.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, or like Orange
slowest in
County. If you
Vegas.
live in Orange County,
Orange County's
tack a few
horrible.
more months onto that statistic because those lights are slow.
Vegas has the world's worst lights, I think, and Melbourne, Australia. You'll wait for 2 days at a light. in
like they're
Melbourne,
synced
Australia.
improperly.
Well, they're just synced like at another time, like another sensibility. They're synced out. Like no sense of urgency whatsoever
What
in
if
your
it's
life.
what
you
if
know?
it's like the Vegas Strip like has it there on purpose so that you just give up and you just go into a casino?
It's always weird about Vegas. You'd think the lights would be fast there because they want everybody to spend money, but
No, they want people to go inside.
yeah. No,
Yeah, I don't
I'm
want to go
gonna
on that
start-
traffic, so I'm going to gamble.
They don't want you to leave the casino, go to another casino. You're like, it's not worth it.
No, they make it horrible to go from casino to casino.
Did you know it's illegal to smoke weed in Vegas on the Strip?
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it's
so
all
great.
it's all off strip, but you know, it works out okay in the end, I think.
I was delighted Nevada went legal.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
It's just neat. Like when you get off at McCarran Airport, when you leave the airport, there's a sign that says, if you need weed, make a left here. And then it's like 3 billboards outside of McCarran Airport. The second one is like, now turn here. And then the third one's just like, doop, here it is.
You found it.
And yeah, and you know, it was close to my hotel, so I cruised over there and I was like, that is genius that they got that. And whoever owned that piece of property did not understand how valuable it is to be way too close to the airport. It's the first stop out of the airport. We got to go to a break again. This is flying by. We'll be back with Greg Proops and Vanessa Johnston in mere moments.
Support for today's show comes from Squarespace. Think it, dream it, make it with Squarespace. Whether you're a butcher, baker, or puppy party organizer, if you have a business, you need a website. Squarespace makes it easy to showcase your work in just a few clicks. You can customize the look and feel so your website fully reflects you. Squarespace's analytics will help you track your growth, and you can do all this from your phone using their mobile app featuring built-in search engine optimization. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. Even better, if you need help, Squarespace's award-winning customer support is ready to help you 24/7. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code HIGH to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com, offer code HIGH.
Hey, you guys, I've seen the future, and I know that on this episode I'm going to forget to tell you something at the end, so I'm going to tell you now. On April 20th, if you have a hankering to see a new episode of Getting Dug with High, tune in at 1:15 Western, 4:20 Eastern for a special 420 edition of Getting Dug with High with some surprise guests. Who knows what's going to happen, because it's going to actually be 420. Hey, we're back with Vanessa J and Greg P. See right there, P, right there, P, you can make fun of it for that. There's so much to go after in that name.
P or Proops.
And the Dab Master General of the United States has joined us, Taylor Rizzo. And this is a thing we do now at the end of every episode, the final third. We bring in someone that can dab you out if that's something that you want to do. I don't like to put a lot of pressure on anybody about it.
Okay.
So you don't have to necessarily try it if you're not into it.
Is it an indica dab?
It's a hybrid.
Ooh,
This is a green crack hybrid.
how much of each?
Green crack.
So you think it's got enough indica? Plus, it's a dab, so it'll feel like
Yeah,
indica.
it's a dab. It's just gonna.
pretty much.
It's basically so refined that it's not gonna make a difference. The sativa indica, like we talked about, I get a little more anxiety from a sativa flower. I don't get that from the indicas or from the.
This
sativas
all was in the
and
pre-show, you guys.
the contracts,
that you
yeah.
do not get just watching the show. You have to sign up for Patreon.
I didn't know you were
so-
going to crack
What is
up
dab?
this.
420 Club.
It's just
It's basically like you said, you use a vape pen a lot. It's just an analog version of using a vape pen. Like in the pen, you have a little coil that heats up and it evaporates the oil, and you smoke it that way. This way, you have a hot coil, and you take the separate oil, put it on there, and then pull it through the bong, so you get like water. Get to filter it through water.
Hey,
and
don't let it
everything.
bother you that a lot of the people left before this segment. They left the room. Don't let that.
Oh, yeah, we walked the audience.
Don't let that concern you.
Did I win?
No, they just know that we're going to be blowing dabs around, and that's a whole nother
is that why they left?
thing. No,
I was
they
like,
got
maybe I
shit to
should
do.
leave.
Is there an anti-dab?
But if you've never tried it, right,
Anti-dab
Vanessa?
movement?
Yeah.
No.
And
I've done it with
Greg,
you.
you've done it.
Yeah,
Do you
we
like
did
it?
Not my fave, but you know.
Green
You'll do it for
crack?
fun?
Sure, I'll do one.
No plans today? You got to go do a set somewhere?
No.
You're going to do 3 sets tonight
small ones.
after
Yeah,
doing
actually,
this?
I do.
Oh, shit.
Don't do a dab then.
I'm doing a gay show, like
Nice.
in WeHo.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
I don't want to offend anybody.
What's the name of that place that you're doing it at? In case we have any
Mickey's.
viewers that want to come, because you don't have to be gay to
Mickey's.
go there, right?
No,
Mickey's?
but you'll be gay after you walk out. So just,
Oh, no.
just make sure you're
That's
comfortable.
how they do it.
They just
Guarantee.
spray you down with gay when you get in
Yeah,
there?
they enchant you. They enchant you.
You just get doused. All right, so what you want everybody watch Taylor do one just
Yeah,
to
I can do
see
one.
Yeah.
what goes down?
Yes.
Do a bigger one.
And we can talk about other stuff while it's happening, or if you're fascinated by this.
Is
See,
Rizzo-
it's very sticky, this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
this is a H2O. H2O. It's like a water hash oil, and so it's pretty nice. There's no butane involved in the extraction process, which is a lot of how they make shatters. They like extract it out and then boil off the butane, but this is all just made with ice water.
Something I
real
insist
clean.
on, by the way.
Yeah.
Before I came on the show, there's a rider in my contract, subsection 5, Article 3, Line 7, that says it has to be extracted in that manner. Otherwise, I won't dab it.
At Cummings, Proops, and
Yeah.
I did a show on
There's
Saturday.
only 2 things I require when I'm huffing dank.
I did a show on Saturday where they said, give us a simple rider for
Yeah.
backstage for your dressing room,
Right.
whatever you need, but keep it simple. So I said Tito's, soda water, and a roll of masking tape.
it sounds kinky.
Just
What
threw
are
that
those?
one in there because
It
I
took a
thought-
turn there, didn't
I
it?
had an idea for something I wanted to try, but I ended up bailing on it. But so I just threw that one in there. But I go in and there's a bottle of Tito's and masking tape.
Yeah.
So the point of this story is, without the soda water, I just had to drink the Tito's right out of the bottle. I did not have a good show.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm kidding.
I was like, I felt emotionally like I was there. I was like, that sounds
No,
so sad.
but he said rider, and it just triggered me because it's
Yeah.
like, if you're not going to bring what I asked for, then don't ask in the first place.
Right. The reason why
It
we
makes
have
it
this
so easy for me
discussion-
to not be disappointed.
If there was nothing in there, I wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, I'm running around. I had to steal, what do you call it, soda water from Brad Williams' dressing room.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was a party in there.
Yeah.
My dressing room was
Desolate.
Buddy Holly and the Crickets. We
Well,
got
maybe 'cause
8
you-
minutes to do 4
No,
dabs.
hey, come over to my room. I've got masking tape. There's a party in my room, and if you got any Scotch tape or anything like a push pin or something, bring that over.
I just had this
We're gonna
idea.
adhere things to the wall. It's gonna be great.
I had this idea since it was a big venue that I would write my set list in big letters on a piece of paper
Yes.
and then come out with it with masking tape, come out and slap it on the floor and then do jokes to the audience about how
That's funny.
if bands can do it, why can't comedians do it?
Funny.
But I chickened out on it at the last minute because it was such a big crowd. I was like, what if they're just bored watching me try to put this thing on the ground?
Right.
Now you're just a
I
weird
gotta
guy
come
with
out with. I
masking
gotta try to
tape in
come out
his
with some
room.
jokes, right
Yeah.
away.
Humor's good.
Yeah, humor's a great way to start.
Concepts are hard. There was a team from England, and they did a bit where they go, we don't go anywhere without our Lucky Charm, and then a 50-yard roll of carpet was unfurled, right? That was the joke. Was like we can't do the show. You got a Lucky Charm. The Lucky Charm comes out. It's like this cartoony gag, and of course it killed in England, and then they did it here. I remember Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. Vic Reeves told me this. He goes, we went to Montreal to do it, and we're hosting the gala, and they come out in their suits, right? And they're like, we don't go anywhere. We don't have a Lucky Charm. They roll it out, and the crowd's like, There's just no.
There's a lot of spectacle in their comedy up there, so it's
that
not,
joke was.
it's
But
not
that's what it
that
reminded
impressive.
me of. You're gonna
A lot
come
of
up. The set list joke is hilarious,
I never realized you were talking
especially
about
because it's a
spectacle.
big venue. I have a big
No,
set list.
there's like Montreal is the home of like comedians who shoot fireworks out of their ass and stuff like that.
And you're rolling
Like
out
they
the
really
road.
put on a
Yeah,
show.
Yeah, rolling.
So
the road.
rolling out a thing is they're just like whatever.
If it was on fire, then it would have got, then the crowd would have been like,
Yeah.
oh, fire. One of the 3 things we recognize. Moisture, when they're not that smart.
All right, you want to step up and do a dab, Greg?
Yeah, but I'm afraid of the burning coil. How's that
touch
work?
it. Only
you don't
touch
have
this
to.
part.
Yeah, just
Well, I'm not
don't,
going to fucking.
I'll do all
Don't-
this.
Thank you.
don't get
Go ahead.
in. Yeah.
All right, when do we do
Don't put
it?
your mouth
Right
on
now,
the
go
burning
for it.
coil.
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
Sweet
Real
Christ.
simple. Does it feel too intimate? What's the problem?
This is
There we go. Yeah, finish it off.
oh yeah.
It's like a piccolo.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was
Yeah. That's it.
right there.
Pretty smooth, actually. It's not.
Right?
It's not nearly the burning cauldron that it looks
Half
like.
the time when I say that, as I'm saying it, I cough really loud. But
Yeah.
it is really can be really smooth.
Yeah, trying to
you
talk
know,
as
you also know what you're
exhale.
doing.
Well, you don't
that's
just huff
important.
it down. You have to kind of. That's a particular kind of.
Yeah, it's a slow pull. It's not like ripping a bong where you have to actually pull all the smoke through. You just kind of just breathe in.
Yeah, it's
It's
more
not-
of a kind of an endurance thing.
Fortunately, we both swabbed our mouths with alcohol before we did this, so there's
Oh
absolute
yeah, good idea.
sanitation.
Good idea.
What do you think, Vanessa?
Oh, I'm afraid of green crack. Green crack sounds really aggressive.
Okay. The name really got at you.
Because if I have sativa, I'll punch
He
someone
was
in the
wrong.
face.
It's called Beautiful Disaster.
See, either way, I'm already that. I don't know. I think I'm okay.
She's
you
got
don't have
3
to.
sets
I don't
tonight,
blame you.
guys.
Right? You're doing
Yeah,
great,
man.
especially this is your first time smoking from a pipe. Let's do one first at a time. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
These things that anytime somebody breaks several records, I'm like, can't you just pull it back a little bit? Just break one record.
Yeah.
One at a time.
Fucking show off.
Are you gonna do the thing?
What thing? A dab? I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you're
I have to
But
do
I
it
just
every
like
time because
watching
I'm
it.
sitting here pushing
you're
it
with,
on
Doug-
everybody.
you're with Doug and me, and that's not fair because we're experienced.
I'm getting better at it, but I'm still not good.
I didn't even
I'm
know
not good at
writing.
dabbing.
I didn't know writing your name on a joint was a
I'll
thing.
probably have a coffee.
It was like back in my day, and I was like, oh cool. Sweet.
Yeah. Look, he knows how to put the hat on and shit.
I tried to teach him.
Aww. I feel like if they smoked weed in Lord of the Rings, that's what they'd use.
You taught me well.
I think they smoke something like this in Lord of the Rings, right?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Dumbledore. Oh wait, no, that's Harry Potter again.
They're easy to confuse.
They are.
They all look the same.
I heard somebody
Right.
in the intermission of the Harry Potter play saying, "Where the fuck were the hobbits?"
Yeah, yeah.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh.
Dude,
But I saw that play.
wouldn't put it-
5 hours of Harry Potter play.
Holy
It's
shit.
crazy.
That sounds so fun.
Really? Was it
It
fun?
won a shit ton of Olivier's in London. Like it's a really respected
Yeah, yeah,
production.
sure.
It's 2 parts, and they do shit from the movies.
Right,
you know, like
magic
there's
and
Death
whatnot.
Eaters and shit.
Yeah.
What's the difference between
really
a
neat.
Tony and an Olivier?
Spoiler. What?
What's the difference between a Tony and an Olivier?
They're the same thing, different countries. Like the England is the Olivier, and
Right. And they're
Just sounds more pretentious.
but
That's what
Broadway
I'm messing
and the West End in London, they're both very similar in that they're probably 2 of the few places in the world that just have a shit ton of theater going on in a very
Yeah, like 20,
small,
30 places.
You know, where you can walk to
yeah,
everything.
Theaterland.
And so a lot of shows start here and then go to London, and
a lot
some
of them
shows start
start
there
there.
and come here. And oftentimes they'll be smash success in one country and then fail in the other one. And but right now Harry Potter is playing to sold out crowds.
Oh, of course.
It's called
that's
Harry Potter and the
universal.
Cursed Child,
Yeah.
and it's 2 plays. You have to watch a 2.5-hour show, then take a break, and then come back and see 2.5 more hours. Wow. And it's all, but it's deep Harry Potter shit. Like it's
You should be
all.
in Harry Potter. You could be like Sirius Black, like degenerate brother.
I would, you know,
Who's like not degenerate, but like you're like, I would do magic, but it doesn't really like vibe with me, so you just smoke weed.
if I could do it with my regular accent, because they do colorblind casting. They have like Hermione is played by a black woman, and it's amazing. It's so good. What was there a signal to quit, or are we almost done?
Wow.
I've lost track of the time. Oh yeah, we got 2 minutes. Let's let.
I didn't know that you saw it. Where did you see the
Tara
Harry
get
Potter show
one.
in New York?
We're like,
Yeah, I just saw it a couple weeks ago. It's in a theater called The Lyric that's been renovated. It's like a kind of big, beautiful, modern, but also old-fashioned at the same time. The audience at the top is like a big horseshoe, you know, in the balcony. I sat in the balcony in the very back. That was the only seat I could get, and it was a terrible seat, and I still found it all very, very fascinating. That's cool.
Dog is the
It's a ringing endorsement.
Dog's the only person I know that when he's sober, his eyes are shut, and then the more weed he smokes, the bigger his eyes
Is
are.
that how it happens?
I'm like,
I think
weed
I'm
like
just
wakes the
pretty
dog up.
squinty
It's got
most of
reverse
the time.
pensophobia.
No, your eyes are like the biggest I've ever seen them. Maybe it's because mine are smaller.
Even like if someone catches me blinking in a photo, it's always about how fucking high I was. You know, because people that aren't high don't blink, right?
No, they're
They'll
like
just walk
lizards.
around.
Because they're shapeshifters?
I
Like,
blink,
what?
but I'm not high out of my mind. Well, great job, you guys. I'm really proud of both of you. New friend and an old friend, and hope to have you both back sometime.
Thank you, Douglas.
That's almost like
thank
the thing
you.
where you rub your finger on a wine glass. You were making it kind of make music.
A little bit.
A little bit. It's making it a little. Because I was like, is someone here to have a transistor radio?
It's the
What
steampunk
is
element
happening?
of the whole operation because of
Yeah.
the coil and the glass, tubes and the,
Super Mad Max.
Right,
meets
we're performing
Harry
some-
Potter
Oh my
before the
shit! We didn't do the plugs, you guys.
Yeah, usually the plugs. I was
I
wondering
usually
what
do
we're
them
gonna
like
do
right at the top of
Let's
this
do it now.
act.
Let's
I'm
do it
ready
now.
to plug.
Before we start dabbing.
Let's go.
If you guys know them, you can just say them.
I'll do mine real quick. You go first,
I'll
Vanessa.
follow
Okay.
along and see if you're right.
Vanessa Johnston. You can follow me on Instagram at Vanessa V Johnston, Twitter at Vanessa John Stew. I'm at the Comedy Store La Jolla this Wednesday at 8 p.m. And you can follow my podcast, The Morbid Report, on iTunes.
What's it called?
The Morbid Report on iTunes.
What was
Yeah.
it called?
The Morbid Report
We're advertising here.
on iTunes.
Oh my God, that's so smart and so irritating.
I'm doing the.
Let's
I'm
get Greg, my
doing
lawyer.
the Greg Proops Film Club that my wife Jennifer picks all the movies for at the Egyptian Theater on the 11th of April, and we're showing Sullivan's Travels by Preston Sturges.
classic.
It's a hilarious movie, and he's going to make a movie in the movie. It's a director, and the movie he's going to make his brother. Where art thou? So there's that, and then GregProops.com, Smartest Man in the World podcast, and I'm on the road with the Who's Line guys. We're all over America, in the Midwest, even in Utah and stuff like that, and that's. Who's Live Anyway? See what we did? Who's Live Anyway? That's what we
30
did.
seconds.
Oh, at
You have
Taylor
anything
Rizzo.
to add?
Yeah, Taylor Rizzo on Twitter, and starting April 11th, I'll be at Bar Lubitsch every Wednesday at 10, except for May 2nd when I think that you're going to
No,
be
I'm
there.
on early though.
Okay.
I'm on at like 8.
Every Wednesday at 10, I'll be
nice.
there at Bar Lubitsch in West
Working it
Hollywood.
out.
And May 2nd, we're both
Show
at Bar
business, you
Lubitsch. Yeah.
guys. Isn't it exciting? Bye-bye.
A dream is just a great idea that doesn't have a website. Make it a reality with Squarespace. Thanks to Squarespace, it's never been easier to turn your idea into a unique website. Maybe you've invented a self-driving jet ski, or you want to showcase your collection of past President Pez dispensers. Squarespace allows you to fully customize your website in just a few clicks with beautiful templates created by world-class designers. No coding required. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code HIGH, H-I-G-H, to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.